Hi guys, in today's video, well, it's my weekly altcoin review. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And as chosen by you guys over on our Telegram group, today I am looking at Credits. Now, Credits is a project that didn't actually really catch my attention when it was at ICO. And so, actually, I'm quite sort of happily surprised by what I've seen. Now, today happened to be a very interesting day to choose to do a review of Credits because there was some actual drama over on their Telegram group, it seems, with the resigning of a key member of the team. Now, we will talk about that briefly, but I don't really want us to get too distracted by it during this review. However, we'll touch on it lightly later on in the video and how it probably won't actually impact the project properly and why that is. So we're going to start off by taking a look at some of the key details on this project. Firstly, the metrics. Now, as you can see, the metrics for this right now, the current price is at just over 8 cents. Now, when I started doing the research for this project, it was over 9 cents, and it's lost a whole cent in one day. And we will talk about that and the reason for it later on. But let's carry on just checking out the main metrics for it anyway. The all-time high for this was $1.17. It has a very low market cap, actually, of $15,416,121. And now the trading volume is around $997,905 last time I checked. So trading volume is actually very, very high. So it's a low market cap, but it does have quite a lot of volume. And it's only available on only really available on a few exchanges, really, in any real quantity. So we're looking at LBank, Coinbean, CoinTiger, and probably the most trustworthy of all of those one would be KuCoin. The total coin supply for this project is 249,471,000 tokens in supply. So there's a lot of tokens there, but it doesn't seem excessive like a lot of the other projects that I've been reviewing recently. At just 8 cents a token, the price is actually pretty appropriate for a project this size. And we will talk about why I do think that we'll see the price rise in the long term. But we'll get to all that, of course, later in the review. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name's James Stoffard, and I'm here with CryptoPig. If you want to be keeping up to date with the latest crypto news and you want to know what the markets are doing and understand maybe the technical analysis out there as well, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and also like this video as well. So moving on with the review, what actually is Credits? Well, Credits is a full blockchain ecosystem. Basically, it allows for smart contracts and for DApp development. It's designed for microtransactions and mainly mass financial payments. Now, they can also allow for token issuing on the platform and data storage on-chain as well. And on their website, they talk about Internet of Things, games, and also including things like stable coins. You could even run a stable coin using the platform. Now, the team behind the platform are looking to achieve 1 million transactions per second. Now, this is an incredibly ambitious target. And we will talk more about that later and whether they can, in fact, and even need to reach that sort of level of speed. Now, it is open source, it's fully decentralized, and they have their own consensus method, which they've called proof of agreement. Again, something we'll look at in this review. As I said, the ICO happened a little while ago, and I wasn't aware of Credits at the time. Now, if I had been aware of it, I probably wouldn't have gotten in on this anyway, and I'll tell you why. Not because it doesn't sound like an interesting project, or because it even looks like it's something that actually, could make some money and a return on my investment. Nope, not because of any of those reasons. Mainly the reason I wouldn't have been able to get in on this project is because they were trying to raise $20 million. Well, they did it, but they did it in just 17 minutes. And knowing what I'm like, there's no way I would have got in there in time to actually make a purchase. So they actually made their money very, very quickly. Very impressive. And I think that has a lot to do with the marketing. And we'll talk a bit about the team behind this as well in a moment. Now, after the ICO launch, it didn't seem like a lot was happening, or at least a lot of people were accusing the team of not doing very much with their funds. And there was a lot of FUD being spread about it being a scam. Well, the project's still here. They've now done a mainnet launch, and you can even check out the code for yourself. So the idea that it's a scam, I think, is fully debunked at this point. One of the reasons why I think that they did very well at ICO is because the CEO happens to be a marketer. He's got a lot of background and history as a director of marketing for different big agencies over in Russia. And obviously those skills translated very well over to blockchain and ICO sales because, as I said, they were able to raise a huge amount of capital in a ridiculously short period of time. And this sort of thing, I know we heard a lot of it back in 2017, 2018. This was the sort of thing that happened quite a bit, but it still is an impressive kind of achievement to be able to do that in such a short amount of time. Now, when we look at the team in more detail, it really is a huge team. Now, as far as I can see, everybody on the team is Russian, and the company, as far as I'm aware, they are based in Russia, but I think legally they are set up in Singapore, and that's probably to do with securities laws and things like that. Now, the CEO, Igor Chuganov, has an extensive background in marketing, like I just said. And he was director at a number of Russian agencies, and including he was a CEO of an affiliate marketing network. Now, CEOs, let's be clear, they don't have to be developers. I know that people like to see that in the blockchain space, but it's not really that important. As long as they have leadership skills, they're able to run a company properly, then you know what? It doesn't matter really too much whether they're technical minded or not. It's more about the vision and about leading a team to fulfill that vision. And quite clearly, Igor was able to do that so far. Now, the CTO up until today was eventually Butyev. He has 10 years of experience in development and 3 years specifically in blockchain. Now, he has actually stepped down, and that happened today, which is part of this, I was saying, problems that the drama that they had over on the Telegram. So Butyev actually stepped down today. It did cause chaos within the community today, and it actually had a massive impact on the price. But when we look at the charts, we will talk about the impact on the price. It hasn't recovered back to its earlier price today, but it has recovered somewhat. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. Now, he did step down. There was a lot of confusion. However, he is staying on as an advisor on the project. And I did speak to him. He said he wasn't walking away from this project because to him it's his baby, and he wants to see it through. However, he's not continuing in the role of CTO. That's actually being handed over to Alexander Avramenko. Now, Alexander Avramenko, now guys, what you need to remember here is that actually Avramenko is their head of development anyway, and he has 17 years of industry experience as a project lead and software engineer. So he's not, he is not just somebody off the team. He has a lot of experience as a lead developer. And also to point out as well, having looked at GitHub as well, the biggest contributors to the code on GitHub happen to be Avramenko and also Nikita sorry to butcher your name, but Nikita Chernyev, who is, they've both, there's a lot of people on this team. There's over 70 developers on the team, or 70 people on the team, and lots of work being done on this project, and you can see all that on GitHub. And like I said, these guys have been putting a lot of the work in on there. So as far as it goes, the CTO handing over the reins to Avramenko is not actually such a big issue. However, it is worth pointing out that the way that Buchev actually resigned did cause mass panic. It was quite interesting to see FUD happening in real time, because what happened was somebody made a comment that Buchev had put a post on one of the Telegram groups saying that he had quit because he'd had an argument with the CEO. Now, I couldn't find that message. It'd either been deleted or something like that. But this caused panic in the Telegram group, and interestingly enough, we saw the price plummet within moments of that news breaking. Now, Buchev did actually put out a proper statement on Twitter afterwards, which I will put up on the screen here for you to take a look at now, where he explains that actually he isn't stepping down totally from the company. He's going to stay on as an advisor, or was discussing being able to stay on as an advisor. But I actually spoke to him, and he said that he is definitely staying on the team as an advisor, and that he's just going to be moving on to work on some other projects, which will be something along the lines of blockchain with artificial intelligence. So he is still going to be doing stuff in the industry. He will still be on hand to help out with the team over at Credits as well. And it's important to point out here, like he says in this Twitter feed, 95% of the work is now done on Credits. So it's not a catastrophe that he is stepping down from that role. Of course, at the same time as all of this news came out, the website went down, and we got a 500 server error pop up whenever we went to the site. And now this also caused some short-lived panic as well. Now I reached out to the team about that, and I got a great response saying that actually they were just making some changes and fixing things, and that the site would be back up. And it actually was very, very quickly back up. Interestingly enough, though, is that when the site came back up on the actual team page, they had changed the team around, and they put Buchev on there as an advisor instead of the CTO. So they'd obviously made some changes very, very quickly in the team and just got it all done at once. Now, that was the drama that happened today, and that was kind of the distraction. But overall, I don't think that that's going to be have a massive impact on the project at all. I think things are already recovering. People seem to be a lot happier in Telegram following all of that being resolved. So it was a short-lived flash crash, as they say, so no panic there. Which means that we can get on with the review. I don't have to worry about this being a project that's about to collapse, because it definitely doesn't look like it will. So anyway, that's the team on this. Like I said, there's huge amounts of experience there, and plenty of developers working on this. And of course, it's now open source as well. So the thing that was interesting about this project is its consensus method. Now, it's called proof of agreement. Now, the reason that they came up with their own consensus method is so that they would be able to actually provide this ability to run 1 million+ transactions. Now, early testing was very successful, but these were under controlled conditions, bear in mind. Now, the data I thought was interesting. So in September 2018, the team actually performed a test on the platform, and they used 32 distributed nodes, and they were all over the globe, these nodes, so geographically distributed. Now, the interesting numbers are that the peak number of transactions they actually managed per second was 1,327,152 transactions in 1 second. Quite impressive. Now, yes, this is under controlled conditions, but still a very impressive amount of transactions. The average number of transactions were 130,400 per second, and the total amount of transactions 305,136,000. So very impressive figures on there. Now, it is obviously very controlled conditions. Now, the mainnet has launched. I am kind of hoping that they're going to run another test like that soon, because it would be great to see how it operates now that the mainnet's out in the wild. So that's really where I stand on that. So obviously under a controlled test, things can always run really well, but it's how well it runs under proper conditions and under the stress tests, as they call them, that's where it gets interesting. So I would really love to see the team do that. But let's just make something clear. 1 million transactions per second is amazing, but it is entirely unnecessary. I mean, we really don't need that many transactions per second because, as we've talked about before in the channel, I think it was even with Visa, there's only 24,000 transactions per second for them. So the idea that you can get 1 million, that's great, but you don't really need to be that fast. So even if under heavy load they're able to only manage half of what they're promising, well, that's pretty damn impressive anyway. So let's move on to the next part and continuing with our talk about proof of agreement. So now the proof of agreement actually is a hybrid approach between DPoS and Byzantine fault tolerance, and they've added staking into the mix as well. So the whole thing works in 3 distinct stages, and I'm not going to go into the full details about it here because it is very technical, but they have basically 3 types of nodes running on the network. They have common nodes, and these are the lowest level, and basically they have very low trust. They haven't earned trust from the network, and they haven't got people staking on them as much. However, they do still participate in the validation of transactions. However, more weight is given to the next tier, which is trusted nodes. And these trusted nodes are basically common nodes that have built up trust on the network over time. So the trusted nodes basically have the full trust score, and there can never be more than 50% of the network made up of trusted nodes. Then you have what's called a main node, which is chosen at random from the trusted nodes for each block. And that node creates the list of transactions. Then, once the list is actually verified, it's added to the chain by another randomly chosen trusted node, which becomes what they call a writing node. Now, there's a couple of other things that they do with regards to compression of data in order to make those transactions work really quickly. And I will put a link to their white paper and the technical paper as well for you to check out if you want to know more about how this works specifically. Now, the way that staking works, the details aren't fully out yet about how that's going to be implemented, and we'll talk about that anyway in the next section about the mainnet launch. So let's take a look at that now. Now, in the mainnet launch, the mainnet actually launched March of this year, and tokens haven't actually yet been swapped, or at least not all tokens have been swapped. Now, really, this is down to the fact that the team have said that the core for credits is stable. However, they've actually said that they want to improve performance on the monitor and wallets before they actually start the final swap. So as they make these improvements, they are doing a limited swap. So people with over a certain amount of tokens are having theirs swapped over to the mainnet and the actual credits token properly, and they're rolling it out as they make improvements to the system. So I don't know how long that's going to take, but I don't imagine it's going to be too long. The team seem very active over on GitHub, and are probably and are obviously working on this issue. Now, talking obviously about GitHub as well, I told you that there's a lot of activity over there, and there's a big team working on it, so that's quite good to see. And also as well, the team are putting in lots of updates, and they're putting in lots of README documents there for people who are interested in development and want to know more about how they can utilize credits as well. Now, there are also some DApps on the platform already, but there's not too many. They're quite limited. And really, to be honest with you, that's not too surprising. And mainly that's because the actual token swap hasn't happened properly yet. I think that once that happens, we'll see probably more developers actually coming on board and using credits properly to develop their DApps. Now, one of the things that they are doing to bring more developers on board is that they have an accelerator program in place. So that's something that's got about $1 million up for grabs for people who want to develop for the platform. Now, with regards to partnerships for credits, they actually have quite a few. Now, the Lenovo are one of their partners, and that's one of the most recognizable ones there. IBM are partnered with them as well, but as we know, IBM are very active in blockchain, and so they do have a lot of projects that they are backing, but still, it's a good partnership for them to have in place. And I know that they are using IBM's cloud service as well. University of Nicosia is a partner, and if you guys know, the University of Nicosia is one of the first universities to do an actual blockchain degree. And then there's Zoom, and of course our good old friends Chainlink, who seem to be able to partner with everybody, and despite all of their problems with token prices, well, you know, they're doing really well as well. So there we go. And of course there is one more partnership which was announced recently, which is a partnership with a very large Russian chemical company. So partnership wise, they seem to be doing quite well, and I think that we will probably see much more from them now that the mainnet is up and going and that the token swap has begun. So what we're going to do now, guys, is something that I always do in all my reviews, is we're going to pop over to the computer now properly to do a quick review of the technical analysis for it. We're going to do that over on KuCoin because unfortunately this token isn't on TradingView. So we will be over on KuCoin to do this, guys. But stick around, afterwards I'm going to be giving you my closing thoughts on this project. Okay guys, so this is the part where we take a look at the technical analysis for this coin, and obviously I'm having to do it over on KuCoin because it's not on TradingView right now. But if we have a look at it overall against Bitcoin, and we're doing that because it isn't against Tether or US dollar anywhere, there are no on-ramps and off-ramps for this yet, though I'm sure it will be something that the team will be looking at eventually. But it obviously isn't a priority. And the same goes for exchanges. It's on quite a few exchanges, it has good volume, and I guess they just don't want to spend huge amounts of money getting it onto new exchanges at the cost of development time. So as you can see anyway, long term it was it was very bearish from its top point here where it reached its all-time high. It was very bearish for quite a while and then ranged for quite a number of months by the looks of it. And it does look like it is possibly bottomed out at this point here. And despite the overall market for altcoins especially being quite negative over the last few months, it actually looks like, especially against Bitcoin at least, that credits is actually holding up pretty damn well. And I'm pretty sure that people who are into credits got very excited at this point here, where the price started to look like it was turning things around and heading into a bullish trend. Now obviously since that point there, back in where were we? April, the price has pretty much been ranging significantly. Now I'm not going to mess about. Oh no, hang on, the tools are exactly the same. It is based on TradingView, I think. So let's pop the oh, well, is it? Because I just thought I clicked that. There we go. It's a bit slow. So as you can see here on the one-day chart, this is proving to be some support level here, a long-term support. We haven't actually retested that, but like I said, it is actually ranging. And you can see certainly that this level here at 1,206 Satoshis is a very strong resistance level. It's been touched quite a number of times over the last couple of weeks. So this is obviously the point that credits is struggling to break through. So you can see here we've got this giant red wick here today. That is because of the drama that happened today. We'll look at the chart closer on the 1 hour chart so you can see what happened there. But actually, guys, this is why I said it was not something to worry too much about, because if you have a look at it with regards to where this actually falls, it's still in trend, it's still ranging, and the price did recover, not all the way up to its opening high, but it has recovered quite substantially. So if we pop over to the 1 hour chart, you'll be able to see in a bit more detail what actually happened today. So I'll just scale that out so we can have a better look at it. So as you can see, the price, it's been ranging, but on the there's a lot. It does look like there's more volatility on the 1 hour chart, which, by the way, for you guys that are day trading, it can be quite a good thing if it's ranging and you've got enough volatility there to take advantage of these swings during the day. However, if you'd been day trading this today, you probably would have had a panic attack when this happened here. You see there, within 1 hour, the news broke that the CTO was stepping down, and because it wasn't handled perfectly well, we saw this panic sell-off from people. Luckily, the team got on top of it very quickly after this broke on Telegram, and people have calmed down now, and we can see that the price rebounded. And obviously, there were a lot of people who must have had buy orders in just down here somewhere, expecting the price maybe to, while it was ranging, to come back down here, and obviously those buy orders have been kicked in. And as you can see, we are now ranging again. However, I would say that this is very tight and very low volume, so confidence isn't 100% back there with the coin right now. But I do think that as people start to see the news about this properly and see what's going on, then I think it may well be that we'll see it head back towards its ranging pattern that we have, especially if we have zoom out, you see it better. We're still within this ranging pattern that we've got on the daily chart. So I think that things are looking okay there in that respect. Could bring up some indicators to have a look at it long term, but I don't think that's a big deal, because I think that we just want to kind of watch this carefully now just to see how this sell-off will affect the price over the next few days. And I will probably take another look at the chart here on Sunday during my live stream, guys. So if you want to see more of credits and you want to get a proper analysis of it, we'll do that on Sunday. The reason I'm not going to do a full-on analysis now is just because of this big sell-off, the flash crash here. It could affect it in some ways until people realize that actually things are okay with the credits project. So for those of you who are looking to buy, I would say hold on a few days. I mean, this may have been the opportunity that you guys were looking for, but like I said, we're ranging, so it's quite possible that we could head down to 853 satoshis again over the sort of medium term before trying again for that resistance level there at 1206. So there is going to be an opportunity to buy in on this anyway, and for those of you who are already holding the token, I wouldn't worry about it. Don't be panic selling, and that would be my opinion, because I don't think that things are that bad. There you go, guys. So that's that for now. For more in-depth analysis, let's take another look at this on Sunday together. So there you go, guys. Interesting, I know. And to be honest with you, I hadn't given much thought to credits before. Like I said, I didn't see it when it was ICO, and I hadn't really heard an awful lot about it in the circles that I run in. Now, if the transactions per second can be replicated on the mainnet, and there can be some more information, if they could do a test and show that, I think that that would be really impressive, and I do think I would love to see that sometime soon. The other thing as well I want to point out is that I really love the developer portal over there. I had a look and it's really informative. There's lots of links, and to be fair, as far as it goes, this company really has a lot of information out there about it. And I do also like the fact that with their team page, pretty much everybody who's important there has a LinkedIn page. They have a way to contact them. So I do think that that, to me, is really great. The other thing as well is that they're still here. People called it a scam when it was only just getting going, but it's still here. The mainnet has launched, and so I think that that is, again, also a very positive thing about this project. And a lot of projects that made lots of money at the beginning disappeared. Well, it looks like credits might only just be getting started. The other thing as well is the very active community. There are people in both communities, that's the technical community and the overall token one, and they're really, really quite active in there, chatting away all day, answering questions, and it just seems like a good active community to have on board for this project. Now, also as well, I think that the idea of staking, and I like the node setup as well, and the fact that you can get node rewards, I find all that quite compelling. And I think that basically I'm going to be looking more into this, and definitely, as you know, I'm interested in a lot of these projects from the technical side of it. So I am going to be digging deeper into that developer portal, taking more of a look at it as a potential investment, but also as a potential platform that can be recommended to clients who are looking to start their own projects as well. I do think that credits has a lot of potential for growth, and it does seem that that is only really starting to happen now. We do have a lot of competition out there for overall blockchain platforms, but that doesn't mean that there isn't room for credits, and it doesn't certainly mean that it can't be the one to take the lead. Now, if their transaction speeds and their scaling is proven on the mainnet, then I think that this could well be one that could compete very much so with a lot of the big players out there. But of course, it's going to be down to adoption, and it's going to be about getting people using it. If they can manage all that, and let's be honest, the brains behind this are great at marketing, then there is a good chance it can happen. That would be really it. That's my closing thoughts on this project. Now, if you guys like the sound of credits, let me know in the comments down below. If you're not too keen, let me know why not. But, you know, let's have a chat about it. And you can also join us on Telegram to talk about this more as well. I hope that you found this review really helpful. And again, if you are a subscriber, please do subscribe. I'm doing one review per week, and then I'm doing technical analysis, and we do daily news content as well, which Cindy brings out to you guys. So please make sure you join us and follow along as well. Hit that notification bell, as we say. Remember though, guys, as always, this isn't financial advice, and you should always do your own research. For fresh crypto content, visit us at cryptopig.com, and I will see you next time.